right.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Alfred Thompson. I am the Independent Living Coordinator for the Youth Opportunities Program, okay? As you can see, we work with the older kids. The program was designed to help kids transition out of DSS custody. We've expanded it to the private sector, so we have some kids that are not in DSS custody, but the premise is the same. You know, if you were a parent and you had a 16-year-old that qualified for our services, the role would be to help them gain the skills necessary to get out of your house and move on. Same thing with foster care, but it's different with foster care because they have to leave foster care at 21. They have the option at 18 to stay in or leave, but at 21 they have to leave foster care. So we came up with this idea of adding additional services to what the caseworkers were doing, and we call it the Youth Opportunities Program. And all of our kids are 16 to 21. Most of our contracts are 10 hours per week. Sometimes Medicaid cut that. We'll cut it shorter, but most of them are 10 hours a week. And we pay mileage, which is different than the BMODs and the other services that you may be involved with. 38 cents a mile, and we try to cap it at 100 miles per month, which comes to 1,200 miles annually. That varies sometimes. But we try to work with that. That's one of the things, and the reason for that is we don't do this service in the home, in the foster home. The expectation is that you as an advocate will pick the youth up. You all will go out in the community and work with the child. We use resources at the library. That's a big resource for us because they can access computers. And you know, we're working on things from like money management, employment, transportation, you know, helping kids get their driver's permits, their driver's license. We don't sign for those things, but we help them study for the test. We encourage them to do these things because, as you know, transportation is going to be something that they will need their entire life. Employment is a big thing with us, helping them find jobs. You know, you may have heard me talking to Ms. Corbett back there about the jobs, helping them find jobs. We can do that pretty easily, teaching them how to keep a job, how to manage their money when they start working. All these things kind of get mixed up with our kids. We've had youth that was doing well in school, so we moved up and said, it's time for you to get a job, get a driver's license. We helped them get a car. And guess what happened? He forgot about school. The foster mother is yelling, going, wait a minute, he's doing terrible. Let's go. He's not listening to me in the home anymore. I said, you wanted us to make him independent, didn't you? And we thought we were doing that. So we have to back up and reverse it and start again. But those are the challenges. That's just some of the challenges we have working with this population. Many of our kids, things we take for granted. 17-year-olds should know, might know. Our kids don't get an opportunity to do that. We're working with youth that are in high management group homes, level 2 foster care, but they meet that age criteria, and that's what the caseworkers look at. And so the more people assisting them, the better the chances of them having any success in transitioning out of care. And like I said, the domains we look at is the education. We're not tutors. You end up tutoring, but we're not tutors. But we try to help. We work more with educational planning. When we meet and we do the assessment, if the youth wants to get their high school diploma, then we try to encourage it. We work with them in any way we can to help them with that. But we look at the next step. What do you want to do after you get that diploma or GED? And many of them want to go to college. So we, as an advocate, an agency group, we work with them on, making sure they have their FAFSAs done, their financial aid stuff done. We even allow advocates to take them on a couple of visits. in-state. We have some that wants to go to Ohio State. We've had some that want to go to Florida State and Georgia, and no, you're not going to get a visit there. The advocate's not taking you there. But we let them, we ask them to pick 2 schools in the state that they can go to. And a lot of times they get to go through their high schools, but also we allow that. We help them with the application, the entire application process. Employment, we have to first teach them to, that's the other domain. You have to first teach them to be appropriate in, socially appropriate, age appropriate social skills before we can go out there. Then we got to go through the interviewing skills. How do you dress for an interview? How do you present for an interview? Then we have to go through how to complete an application. All of them will tell you they know all of these things, and you should see how some of them are dressed to go, And then you have to see some of what they put on an application. You ever been convicted of a crime? Yes. And they go through when the police came to the school to talk to them about something. I wouldn't hire you with that. So we have to teach them what they can put on there, what the questions mean on the application. Once you do all of that, you get them the job. Now you have to teach them what they need to do to. We call it job maintenance skills. What do you have to do? How do you maintain a job? You're going to run into a stupid supervisor. Your coworkers are going to be stupid. The pay is going to be minimum wage because you don't have any work skills or education. Those are the 3 things that make them quit. And you do have to work on Fridays and Saturdays, even though your friends are having a party, they don't understand that, And so we spend time working on that. Another area that I kind of mentioned is basic life skill acquisitions, just the interpersonal skill development. So many of our kids are still at that age. And depends on how long they've been in foster care in some cases, but they're still angry about being in foster care. And they're still taking it out on everybody around them. So we're not therapists. We have to work through that in order to give them that chance to go out in the community and be appropriate enough to even think about being on someone's job. So you're going to spend some time talking to them about it. It's really the same thing you would do if you had a teenager that age and you wanted to help them prepare for adulthood. It's nothing any different. It's just that our kids, many of the youth that we're talking about, because of things that have happened to them in the past, have emotional deficits that they have to overcome, and we play a big part of that. You guys, 10 hours a week with a teenager, you're going to know more about that kid than that foster parent in about the first 2 weeks. You think about spending 10 hours with a juvenile. I know when my kids were between that age there, I didn't get 10 hours a week with them, not directly. We got, the challenge is to get the kids to want to continue to engage with you. So you have to have a plan. And when we meet, one of the things that happens, we meet the kids, and I'm going to get back to the domains because there's 2 others that I want to talk about. But when we get a case, and once we've identified an advocate, one of you to work with that kid, I go out with you and we meet the youth and the foster parent or the parent, and we talk about what their needs are with regards to independent living skills. What do they want us to help them with? And when we do that, we develop an individual treatment plan from that. We call it an IPOC, individual plan of care. And in that, we address the different areas or domains that we want to do. In addition to having that information, you as the individual advocate, because you're going to get to know that kid, and you still have to have a plan when you go there. If you go to a teenager and say, what do you want to do today? What are you going to get? Nothing. Or, I don't know, let's go get something to eat. And we don't reimburse for meals. So when you're out there feeding them, you think you're going to bill that back. You can't bill that back to the agency. And that's going to happen. The kids are going to want to, well, let's go shopping. Well, shopping might be to, okay, we can call that money management, you know, teaching them how to shop, to get the most for their money, how to be thrifty. You can think that, but they go shopping, and if they don't have money, they want to buy things. We don't reimburse for things you buy for them because they use that to manipulate at times. But that's the kid. All of them do it. So those are things to keep in mind. You have to have a plan, because if that kid says, I don't want to do this anymore, and they tell that to their caseworker, then I'm going to get a call saying, can you find us another worker for Johnny Mae? Because she don't like her advocate anymore. And it doesn't have to, you know, if they don't want to do it, you can't make them. So so keep that in mind. If they just don't want to participate in the program, I encourage them to just tell your caseworker you don't want to do the program. It's not about the individual person working with you. If you don't want to do the program, then we won't do the program, because you can't make them work. You can't make them get a driver's license. You can't make them go to school or want to go to school. Going back to the domains, I mentioned the basic life skill acquisition. Then we have community resources, helping them understand where things are in the community, what agencies, you know, if you need 411, 211, 911, where the local mental health centers are, where you go to get ABC voucher, you know, for the young girls that may need one, or any type of assistance, you know, and we encourage them to keep a listing of these places. They won't, but we try to, because what happens is once they're emancipated or they leave the program or no longer involved with an agency, they're calling back. Mr. Albert, you still got my birth certificate? Nope, threw that away when I closed your case, you know. But we don't have those things anyway. But they may ask, I lost my birth certificate, where do I go get another one? And I said, didn't you and your advocate go over that when you were in there? Yeah, but I don't remember what they said. Or they may call you. And that's usually what happened, because the relationship with our kids is usually with that advocate, longer than it is with a caseworker or with me, because they usually see me once or twice during the time they're here, but they're going to see you all. And I get a call from you guys saying, well, I just heard from so-and-so, she's not doing well, he's not doing well, what do you want me to do? I said, whatever your heart tell you to, because the agency can't do anything yet. But that's just a reality of it. So you're keeping those things in mind. Those relationships can be long-term, and we encourage them to make long-term relationships. And the other domain is medical, physical. Our kids, many of them are on medications. They need to learn how to make appointments for themselves, how to take their meds. Now, they're in a foster home. There are regulations that require the foster parent to treat medications a certain way. But we have some that are beyond foster care, and we try to help them understand, you know, how to make an appointment, how to keep an appointment, how to administer their meds or protect their meds and stuff like that. So those are the basic, that's kind of an overview of the program. If you're interested in working with these youth, the qualifications, the pay and all is the same as with a B-Mod, okay? But I would encourage you, if you're interested, give me a call, let me know. Or you will list, I think they asked, Keel and them asked someone, are you interested in the program? Because they usually send me a note stating who's finished with the training, and they'll indicate that they're also interested in what you refer to as the YO program. Or you can just give me a call. Again, my name is Alfred Thompson. Just ask for the tall, good-looking black guy. And they will know who you're talking about, okay? And all of our numbers are the same. We don't have extensions, okay? And just let me know what area you live in, because normally I'll just go to the computer, or I'll ask Amanda or Ashley, who do we have in Sumter, and make assignments from there. But if you talk to me, I'm old school. I use sticky notes. I'll write your name down and where you're from. And if we get in that area, we'll give you a call, okay? And don't expand your thing to 3-4 counties, because you're not going to go working 4 hours a day, from Richland County to Lexington. And so many times we have that, and we call you on that. We have on here that you said you live in Northeast Columbia, but you work Richland and Lexington County. Now I have a kid in Swansea. Like you wouldn't go out there 4 hours a day. You know, so just keep in mind. But we do try to keep it as close to the child. If I ask, you know, if you live in Northeast, we try to assign cases in that area. Because even in Richland County, it's a pretty big county, and Lexington is exceptionally big. But that's how we assign cases. Any questions?